Welcome back. We are here after the divisional round, which I think is the best week of football outside of the Super Bowl, obviously. And we have so many storylines here. We got some Caleb Williams becoming a god and then going back to being a peasant. The Bo Nix injury with Jarrett Stidham. Is CJ Stroud a bust? Did Drake May play up to his potential? And can they win even if he's not playing to his potential? The Rams offense not really working. The Seahawks dominating. There was just so much going on this weekend, but we're going to start with what I think is probably one of the best plays we've seen in football in a very long time, which is the Rams game, Bears game, and Caleb Williams throwing that last second heroic fourth down pass that just doesn't make any sense. Was there a little bit of a OPI on that play? Absolutely. Absolutely. But Caleb Williams is ascending up the quarterback ranks right now, and he's finding ways to be close to that top five conversation. He's not there yet because you see that later on in overtime, he throws the game away. Now, is it on him? I don't think so. I believe that DJ Moore made the cardinal sin of not crossing the face of the defender, not running that route full speed. Just a couple of atrocious errors on that by DJ Moore. And I think if he's lockstep into that route full speed and he comes across the face, that interception doesn't happen. But Cam Curl, kudos to you. Great play. And that Rams defense is just wildly insane because they could pressure with four, drop back seven, and they just still get the win rate on the pass rush. Yet they still have seven back there. They're a tough team to beat, and that's with them having Matthew Stafford looking pedestrian. He's been struggling this offseason, and he's MVP caliber, might be the MVP. I do believe it's going to be Drake May, or it should be Drake May, but damn, he does not look good. These last couple games he struggled, and they couldn't get Puka going here, and Devontae Adams and him. Let's talk about that one play from the one hash all the way across the field into a corner. Oof, beautiful, incredible. But otherwise, he was struggling, and now this week he has to go up against the Seahawks defense that has players like Nick Iwamori who run 4 threes and they play safety, but really they're the kind of the Mike linebacker, and they just change the whole dynamic of the defense. That like they get to run these special formations because he's so elite out there. This is going to be a great matchup, and I do think the Rams win off veteran leadership alone on this. But damn, if the Seahawks come through, damn that defense is crazy. I believe the Rams are going to come out and instead of playing four rush seven back, they're going to kind of blitz a little bit in the beginning, kind of come after that Seattle Seahawks offensive line, but more importantly, come after Kenneth Walker's pass pro ability because there is no Zach Charbonnet anymore. He had a major injury. He was way better at pass protection than Kenneth Walker was. Do I think Kenneth Walker is going to tote the rock maybe 20, 25 times this game and be great for any DFS lineup? Sure. This is just going to be a great game all around. I mean, it's the higher over under of the two, which we'll get into in a minute why that is. But we got players like Stafford, we got JSN, Puka, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum. You can get a little bit of Cooper Cup revenge if you want to in there. You got Rashid Shaheed if he gets electric again like he did on that kick return. And we're really not going to talk about that Seahawks game because they just absolutely dominated the 49ers. Made sure they couldn't throw the deep ball, which the Eagles didn't do, and just routed them from the beginning to the end. So there's no point to that game. And for the Bears' future, they got a chance, but they got to build up that defense. They got a lot of turnovers this year, and we know that doesn't happen year on end over and over and over again. But Caleb is starting to show signs, and Caleb with Ben Johnson, if he can work on that completion percentage, if he can work on the ability to perform when in pocket and in system, and not just do that playmaker stuff, boy, he's going to be top two, maybe top best quarterback in the NFL. He's that good, that talented, that strong of an arm with mobility. He's everything you want him to be. Just got to tighten it up here, tiny bit. So we got the Rams, we got the Seahawks coming up. We got Kyron Williams, who just won't go away. So Blake Corum's not really doing it, but Kyron Williams is playing well. But Seattle's a tough defense. I really don't know who I would have picked there. But I'm going to go with the Rams off the veteran leadership alone, like I said earlier. And it's going to be the higher scoring game. So in DFS, I'm most likely leaning there. There's no real weather that's going to bother us in that scenario. The implied totals are both higher, I think, than the Patriots and the Broncos, which let's get into that. Let's go into the Patriots game first with the Texans. Because I don't believe the Patriots should even be here. Drake May played one of his worst games. That Houston defense, legit. Will Anderson, best player on the field that game. I don't even think it was close. He was the best player on the field. And then you have Danielle Hunter doing just crazy crossover step moves on people. And Will Campbell is going to be a major problem for the Patriots if he cannot get over the fact that he has those shorter arms and he's probably going to have to get moved in the guard. The Broncos and Nick Benito and that crew, they're going to eat him alive and lead to a repeat of what we saw with Drake May with these fumbles, with these mistakes. He's a young quarterback. That type of stuff happens. But if you're going to take the time away for him to actually process, that's a problem. Now, Keyshawn Booty made an amazing catch, but like Stephon Diggs is older. He doesn't scare me, especially with PS2 out there. I don't see anything on the Patriots offense that really scares me. Henderson has been on a downward spiral. Stevenson's been better, but he's Stevenson. I mean, he's good, but he's not great. They got him involved in the passing game. That's nice. Hunter Henry might have a little thing, but like Denver's defense is legit. All they need to do is to somehow overcome this Bo Nix injury. Damn for Bo Nix, man. He won me over in that game against Buffalo. I was telling my wife, like, I'm just not a fan. And then that game, he just kind of got me going. And then the news comes out right after the game, season over. And it's just, that's heartbreaking, man. I wish the best for him. I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back stronger mentally, physically, all that fun stuff. But we have Jarrett Stidham now in this game. Sean Payton's first acquisition when he became the coach, and he gave him an extension. He likes Stidham. Now, Stidham will take sacks at a higher rate than the league average, and we got to hope that that changes. He completes passes at a lower rate than the league's average, so we need just competent, a little bit more competent than that. But he is mobile. He's got the ability to be mobile. Coming out of high school, he's one of the most mobile quarterbacks that were coming out at that point. And he's got a decent arm. And we've seen him against one of the best defenses in the league when he had to start with the Raiders against the 49ers, who were allowing the least amount of points per game. And he lit them up. Now, I'm not looking for 325 and 3 and some Nick Foles 2.0 type thing, even though Nick Foles came out and said that the Patriots are pretty good at losing the backup quarterbacks. I don't need that. I don't need Super Bowl MVP style from him because his defense is that legit. And you might get J.K. Dobbins back, so him and R.J. Harvey could handle a little bit more running for you. And there's definitely going to be a lot more running, a lot more bleeding the clock, which is why it's not my favorable game for DFS. But all I need from Stidham, 250 and 1, maybe don't throw an interception or create a turnover. And this might be a knock him out, curb stomp the team in the last second, but like a back and forth bout of 17-14. It's the playoffs. It's late in the year. It's cold. Teams win with defense and running, and right now that's what the Broncos are going to have to do. And honestly, as much as I like the Broncos, my whole scenario would be switched up, would be changed had the Texans not just blown that game. If the Texans don't blow that game and they beat the Patriots, I'm pretty much stamping the Texans to the Super Bowl. But CJ Stroud, can we just talk about that downward trajectory he's got going? Amazing rookie year, falling off every step of the way. Now, you can look around, terrible offensive line. You can look in the backfield. Woody Marks is in the tent every game. It's incredible that he's always injured. And then you got old as dust, Nick Chubb, and then Nico Collins goes down with an injury, and the wide receivers can't win. Higgins isn't ready yet. Christian Kirk is old. They wouldn't use Noel for some reason. They need Tank Dell back, and then they need another wide receiver. This defense is so damn legit, though, that if CJ Stroud just took his like 4 or 5 turnovers, cut him in half to 2, they win that game. So if I'm Houston, he's on his 5th year. You're going to obviously sign him back because it's cheaper that way. You don't really have anything else in Davis Mills. But you got to start turning the wheel here and realizing, like, hey, we might have to have a plan for after CJ Stroud because he's struggling. He gets happy feet. He gets scared. You can literally see it. It's almost sad because I like the guy. I think he's very talented. I think he's smarter than them stupid K2 reports say. He just struggled hard. Very, very hard. And because of that, we now have a Broncos-Patriots game. And I do believe that, and I'm going to stamp it here, I think Stidham plays well enough. I think Stidham plays well enough against his old organization. I think he comes out and he just steps over him. Just enough to be good. And we end up with a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl. That's my prediction for this. And I would end the video there, but we got one more team I want to talk about because they're just doing the wildest things here. Can we talk about the Bills? Can we talk about Josh Allen's turnovers? And we can ignore the tweets that say, aside from his turnovers, like, you can't say aside from his turnovers. He had turnovers. He kind of blew that game. It sucks he had a chance at the end. Nobody understands what the catch rule is anymore. I'm not even going to pretend to say that was a catch because I thought it's a catch and then he's down by contact, but I guess not because he doesn't get it through the ground. There's so many variables and somebody's got to figure that out. But it leads to Sean McDermott getting fired, which is fine. He's a big old crybaby who didn't do enough with Josh Allen in his prime. Fine with that. But we're sitting here and you got the owner coming out today saying we didn't want to draft Keon Coleman and they don't give him any wide receivers, yet you bring back the GM and even promote him. I don't think the Bills know what they're doing. Like, yes, they had that run in the 90s where they went to 4 Super Bowls. Yes, they've been pretty good recently. But are they a good organization? I don't really think so. I love to know what you guys think. But, man, it was just an incredible weekend of divisional NFL playoffs. And let's hope the conference games are just as good. But my suggestion, my preview, my prediction, whatever you want to put onto it, I'm going Broncos Rams for the simple fact that defense wins at this point, and I think the Denver Broncos are going to step up, even though they've been slacking a little bit recently. I think they're going to get revved up for Stidham as long as he doesn't turn it over constantly. And then the Rams are going to bring a little bit more pressure than 4. And then they're going to switch back to that 4 with 7 back. And they're going to put Sam Darnold in a dunce cap instead of a thinking cap. And really make this guy worry, especially or pressure up the middle from the A-gap. And we're going to see a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl. That's my guess. Stay tuned for future videos. We'll talk about that Mike McDaniel signing to the Chargers and why he got me in trouble on Twitter. We're going to talk about the conference games. We're going to talk about fantasy. You let me know what you want to talk about with football. But I just wanted to get my thoughts out about the divisional series, the quick stories, how I think Caleb's ascending, how I think that the Broncos still have a chance. Great weekend of football. Let's have another.